Look, as a fellow business owner, I want to tell you something that most people won't admit. A few years ago, I had everything on paper. Revenue was up, team was growing, the business looked successful. But behind the scenes, I was waking up with anxiety. I was dreading my calendar, and I truly felt like I was just one mistake from everything just crashing down from under me. Now, I kept thinking to myself, why do I feel this way when everything is technically working? And if you've ever had that feeling, if you've ever felt like success came at the cost of your peace, you're not alone. And this is the story of what finally broke that cycle and how you can do it too. My name is Dr. Javier Carlin. I am a physical therapist by trade. I have my doctorate in physical therapy. I had a physical therapy practice that I was a partner in, and I did that for several years before starting my online coaching business, helping other healthcare professionals to start and grow their own private practices. Now, in both the physical therapy practice and the online coaching business, I noticed something outside of myself that ultimately ended up being the same challenge, the same problem that I was experiencing inside of me. So, what do I mean by that? In my work with patients, and I worked with hundreds, if not thousands of patients, and in my work with the hundreds of other physical therapists, dietitians, and healthcare professionals, I kept on noticing something. I noticed that there were people who used our scripts, our templates, our systems, our software, all the things that we use to build our own businesses, and they would get incredible results. They'd generate six figures rapidly and be able to build a lifestyle that supported them and supported their family. And on the other side of that, we also had clients that would literally, with the exact same resources, either disappear from the face of the planet, they wouldn't do any of the work, or they would do the work, but they'd be inconsistent and start to blame everyone but themselves for their lack of results. Now, this didn't just happen in the coaching business. I also saw this in the health business, right? In the physical therapy practice, where we would have some clients who showed up consistently. They did their home exercise programs. They did what they needed to do to get better, and they did. We also had several who would inconsistently show up, not do their exercises or their workout routines or really taking care of themselves outside of the clinic, and those who would just come for a session and disappear. So it really got me thinking, okay, how can someone have the exact same resources, the same strategy, the same tactics, everything, and get completely different results? And so while that got me thinking, it wasn't until in 2024 where I started going through my own stuff. I started going through my own stuff, and I really found myself at a crossroads where I had made some not ideal personal and business decisions. It didn't affect anyone else. We ended up purchasing a $1 million home that we didn't account all of the additional expenses that we would need to incur. Our business, because I was indecisive and lacking self-trust in myself because of that big decision, and then finding out that we were going to have to sell the house to put ourselves in a better, more stable position financially because we were expecting a kid now and bringing someone else into our life, we decided that we needed to sell it. And that really started to put me in this downward spiral of a lack of trust in myself and my ability to make decisions. Now, as a business owner, you know this, right? Making decisions is the most important thing that we do on a daily basis. We are the captain of our ship. We're the ones that need to direct and lead and know where the ship is going. So in this spiral, like I mentioned, lost a lot of trust in myself and my ability to make decisions. And the business, because of that and that self-sabotage, started to slowly decrease in revenue. We started to slowly see our profits begin to dwindle. We started to let go of valuable team members, which were producing great results for the company, but I felt stuck. I had all these different options, different directions that I could go, and I wasn't really sure which one to pursue. So with all of that, what I typically used to do was look for answers outside of me. I would invest in coaches and masterminds and mentors. I'd go to business conferences, and I've spent over $300,000, if not more than that now, having other people outside of me tell me what to do. tell me what I'm missing, what I need to focus on, what actions I need to take to get the results that I wanted. And it got me far, right? It got me to the point where we had a successful multi-6-figure business, really high up there. And it worked for a while until it didn't, but I was still in that pattern of looking for answers outside of me. So I ended up going to a workshop. It was actually in Vegas with Alex Hermosi, acquisition.com. And it was an amazing workshop. And they told me, hey, if you want to get to the next level, if you want to take the practice revolution to that next level, you're going to have to pivot the way that you're doing things. You're going to have to lead differently. You're going to have to become an education, a CEU company first and certify people. And that's going to bring more people in on the front end so that then you could offer your business services on the back end. And so, a good student, I said, okay, yeah, that makes complete sense. And I started taking action. Now, if you're like most successful business owners and entrepreneurs, you know how to take action, right? Someone tells you to do something, if it's in alignment with what you think you should do, then you do it. As I was building out this CEU platform, as I was building this education component to our business, I started to reach out to potential instructors. I started to hire a WordPress developer. I started to do all these things. And in those conversations, I took a step back and I was like, this sucks. I hate this. Having to deal with the bureaucracy of these associations and governing bodies. And I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. And so I ended up deciding, you know what, I'll try something different. So in the same realm, I was like, okay, let's launch a certification program. At the time, it was a nutrition coaching certification program. And I'm not a nutritionist or dietitian or any of that. My wife is a dietitian, and she just didn't feel like building out the curriculum or anything like that. So we ended up finding a friend of ours who is an amazing dietitian and does an amazing job at what he does. And so we brought him on board. It's like, hey, we're going to launch this thing. It's going to be awesome. And we did. We launched the beta. It was a successful first launch. And that's all it ended up being, because something still deep inside of me was like, I don't know if this is what I want to pursue. I don't know if this is what I want to do. When I look at my life 5, 10 years from now, is this what I want to be known for? Is this what I want to be doing? And the answer was very clear. It was no. And so that basically brought me back to square one. Some people are stuck because they feel like they have no options. And I was stuck because I had too many options. I could do all these things. And what finally hit me was this. I began to realize that I had this pattern. I was running this pattern of constantly looking outside of myself for the answers on what I was meant to be doing. And then it hit me. I was like, okay, what if the answers aren't outside here? What if they're actually in here, right? What if I need to look internal to figure out what I really want, and therefore who I want to be? And because of knowing who I want to become, what is it that I'm meant to be doing on the way there? Okay. And that's when everything shifted. I started to attend different types of trainings. I started to learn more about the mind, how the mind works, the conscious mind, the unconscious mind. There are tools and techniques that can actually help you rapidly to get clarity, confidence, energy, fulfillment, a sense of inner peace, to let go of the self-doubt, to let go of the overwhelm, the procrastination, the burnout, the frustration, the stress, the anxiety in a matter of hours, not months, not years, not decades. And when I found out about these modalities, these trainings, I was like, this is the missing piece. So I dove deeper into it. And as I dove deeper into it, I got really excited because I realized, just like you'll begin to realize, that this is the key. Tony Robbins says it best: 80% of our success in life and business is psychology. It's your mindset. And only 20% is the mechanics, the strategy, the tactics, what you actually do. Still important. And if you don't have the foundation first, you'll get far, you'll get places, but you'll get there. And like many successful people, they'll have the success, they've made all the money, and then they're left asking themselves, is this all there is? Their relationships, their health, their spirituality, all these other important areas of life haven't been accounted for. And I didn't want to get to that place. I didn't want to get to the place where finances were great, but my relationship with my wife was crashing. I didn't want to get to the place where finances were great and my relationship with my son was not there. Did not want that. And you probably don't want that either. And so if you're in that place right now, or you feel like you might be creating that for yourself, there is a way to get out of that, to never have to go into it and to never have to experience that pain. And so after going through that journey myself, I learned that the resistance that I was feeling, the lack of motivation, the stress, the anxiety, the paralysis was because of a lack of alignment inside, right in here with who I wanted to become. And ultimately, the values, the identity that I had, and the values and identity that I needed to get to that next level. And there was incongruency there, there was conflict there. And so I ended up deciding to invest in a breakthrough session. And this breakthrough session is anywhere from 8 to 10 hours, could be done in one day or 2 half days. I initially did it in 2 half days. I've done 3 of them as of today so far. And I did it in the realm of career and business. And after this 8 to 10 hour session, I had a different level of certainty. I had this moment of clarity and I realized, holy cow, I've wasted so much time, so much money, so much energy living my life for other people, living my life thinking that, okay, these people did these things. This is how they got successful. I should just do what they did and I'll have the same success. And sure, while it worked, it's exactly why I also felt so out of alignment with who I was and what I wanted. I was doing things based off what I was watching other people do and thought that would make me feel good too. And that wasn't the case. So I had this newfound level of clarity, knowing who I am and who I was meant to be. And therefore, the direction of what I needed to be doing to get there became very clear. And I felt more certain, more confident, more calm about my future. And that was the missing piece the entire time. It was letting go of the past experiences, the past emotions, the past beliefs, the things that were like a chain pulling me back. And that's why if you're feeling resistance, it's because you have all these things, all this baggage, like a chain that's holding you back and you're pushing and pushing, like you're pushing a boulder up a hill, wondering why it's so hard. And it's that misalignment. And so finally, after doing that breakthrough session, I had this moment of clarity and I'm like, this is the missing piece. This is what everyone needs. And so like that, I made the decision that I was going to let go of a successful business at the time, the Practice Revolution, and that I was going to start this new business. Now, not an easy decision to let go of a business that's doing multiple 6 figures. If I hadn't made that decision, I would have continued to feel the resistance and conflict in my life. So I did it, no matter how scary it was. And that's what we do now. That's what we're building at Mindhaven. And my goal is to help business owners and entrepreneurs to become even more successful and also feel fulfilled and also be able to have that harmony in all areas of their life, to make sure their relationship is solid with their wife, their kids, to be able to make sure that their health is a top priority and that they're able to have the energy and excitement for life. And that's what Mindhaven is all about. We have a team of coaches that help with every area of your life. And that's something that I see myself doing for the rest of my life. And at the core of it, it is a one-to-one intensive customized to you. There's a lot of group stuff out there, a lot of things where you do things with other people, and that's great. And at the core of what we do is going to be a personalized, customized, intensive made for you to help you become who you're meant to be. Because when you have that clarity, you know who you are, you know what your values are and how to actually take action within those values, life doesn't just become easier, it becomes exciting. You feel joy. And that's what I want for every single business owner and entrepreneur who's out there, because I know that you are helping so many people with your products and services, and things become easier and more effortless, and you have more joy and happiness to give. You're going to help so many more people. You're going to have a much greater impact. And that's what drives me. And that's what I wanted to share with you today. So if that resonates with you, if you're in a position where you feel anxious, where you're stressed out, you're frustrated, you're annoyed, you're angry, you feel sad sometimes, or guilt about your family or your team members or the people that are depending on you, and it's weighing you down, you know that it's keeping you from really actualizing your true potential, then the Rapid Alignment Intensive, where we actually help you and facilitate a breakthrough session with you personally, might be the answer. So there's likely a link somewhere around this video to book a call with our team or message me directly on Instagram. We'll give you all the info, all the details, everything that you need, and you'll be able to make a clear, confident decision on what your next best steps are. So that's my story, part of my story. Obviously, there's a lot more, and I'll continue to tell it as we go through this journey together. Until next time, take care.